Guys, welcome back to the channel. Slightly different setup to what you're normally used to, I guess. But I'm trying something new with the channel on this one. So I've got my friend Johnson here with me, who's going to talk about a couple of things, mainly driving, but business as well. And how we make money on the roads and that kind of stuff. So
right.
I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, man, Johnson, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about who you are. I know who you are, but these people don't. So.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for having me on the show, Jonathan. My name is Johnson. I do SAFL and I'm a PCO driver, and of course many other things as well.
Nice. So what was your path to PCO driving?
Well, it was quite a long one, to be honest. I attempted the PCO journey maybe say 2 or 3 times before I actually got the license. You know what I mean? Because when you are doing the exam, sometimes the people who are even training you to do the exam, they don't tell you the nitty-gritty techniques of actually taking the exam.
Got you.
So without the knowledge of having to know certain things about the exam, I failed maybe say twice before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I failed twice or 3 times. I think
This is the topographical.
Right. Yeah, failed maybe say 2 or 3 times before actually knowing what to do in the way to pass the actual exam.
Got you.
You know, so it's been a long journey, but it's been worthwhile actually getting there.
Apart from the topographical, what would you say were the other difficulties in the earlier stages of your path into private hire?
As in trying to get into well, I started off trying to be a bus driver.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, started off trying to be a bus driver.
Interesting.
But because I like driving. And
you kind of have to,
especially in this. I have to like driving. But also the things, the salary on bus driving and the benefits as well is what attracted me to it. But after a long time of trying to pursue that bus driving thing, I got things done, the medical. But then I thought, you know what? No, I don't want to, because I think when I started doing the practice for bus driving, I asked them a certain question. I like my holidays. You know, and they said to me, I think they said 2 to 3 years, you can never get Christmas off as a bus driver.
What?
I said, yeah, exactly. I said that, and I thought to myself, nah, because I like to have the freedom of being able to take time off when I want to take time off. You understand? So I don't want to work for an entity that is going to be restricting me. You know, and they said, oh, it's either you can swap with the old drivers, which I know is going to be impossible.
Because you're new and they're not going to be familiar. It's like, why is this guy going to get his Christmas off and I'm not going to get my Christmas off?
So I thought, you know what, no, I can't do that. So I used the medical side of what they've given me already to apply for the PCO.
Got you.
You know, and that's why, or how I got into sort of the PCO journey through the bus, because they did my medicals and it was easy for me to channel into the PCO.
So how long roughly would you say the whole process from you applying to getting your blue badge in the post?
Okay, so I think from initial start, from going online, doing it yourself, and because I know there's different entities that will do it for you. But I think if you're doing it by yourself and paying your £310 for the TFL, it takes at least 2 to 3 months to actually process everything and then start to do the exam. And within that time, you've got to try and do your practice of the topographical. You know what I mean? And if you don't know how to do the topographical, you will fail it a few times. I mean, I've got 2 friends, one that's passed, and one that's doing the mistakes I did. But I'm telling him what to do.
Got you.
But him being so proud, he doesn't want to listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've sat both of them down. And taught them, this is the way you need to do it. The way I wasn't taught, but maybe towards the end I was taught. And I've shown him how to do it. One has listened and he has passed. He's waiting for his badge now. The other one hasn't listened to me and he tries to do it his way. And I said to him, see, your way is the way that you're failing. It's a way of doing it. There's always a way of getting into it. And if you don't want to listen, you're going to do it time and time again.
You know, it's kind of funny, like with driving private hire, mini cabin, Uber, and whatever you want to call it, the misperception is that people think it's super easy. People think it's like a willy-nilly thing. Like you could just wake up one morning and think to yourself, oh gosh, I wanna do Uber. And you just send something off in the mail to TFL and you get your license. And then you're on the road in 2 weeks.
That's right.
That couldn't
be
be
very far from the truth.
Even down to, you know, the requirements and the knowledge.
Yep.
Again, there's a misperception that Uber drivers don't know where they're going. They just rely on sat nav and all this kind of stuff. So their approach to the topographical test is it's dead easy. It's not. Like I didn't pass my first time.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of drivers don't actually.
I mean, if you're old school and you know how to read the atlas very well, do you know what I mean? Then cool. But if you're someone from the I think the X generation, if this people say, you know what I mean, from the 1980s or whatever, or if you don't know how to read a map and you haven't picked up a map for the first time, because when I initially started to do the exam for the driving, old school way was reading the map. Now it's digital. But before was reading the map, and at the time I didn't know how to read a map. I didn't know how to follow the books because people think, I'm following this road. Next page, no, it's not. No. You follow this road, and then you have to flip to 3 or 4 pages to continue on with the road. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Do you know what I mean? You know, but now they've made it kind of easier for people to do it online, which is digital. You know, so
interesting.
And that's the thing. The digital part is the tricky part. The book part was the easy part. But now the digital, there's tricks in it which you have to know, and if you don't know, the computer will mark you wrong, or whoever marks it will mark you wrong because they feel like you're driving in the wrong direction, and that's where I was going wrong all the time. You know what I mean? So you have to know what you're doing, otherwise you're gonna fail it.
So how long now have you had your PCO?
So unfortunate for me, and this is something I should have written to the TFL, my PCO license came on the brink of lockdown.
Painful.
Right. So I was not able to use my license for a year or so.
Yikes.
You know what I'm saying?
And for context, viewers, you get your license and it's 3 years at a time. Every 3 years you have to resubmit your DBS and your documents to get another 3 years.
Right.
So it's 3 year spells. So Johnson literally had 1/3 of his license probably unusable.
Right, exactly.
That's nuts.
Because at the time, no one was going anywhere. You couldn't pick up anyone. Do you know what I mean? So it was just dead. It was dead for a year. And I should have written to TFL to say, well, due to the fact or due to the circumstances which we're going through right now, I believe you should renew my license, but I didn't do it. You know what I mean? I just used it for, you know, the period of time I had left. You know what I'm saying? You know, so
hindsight was 2020, man.
That's right.
So okay, tell me about, you got your license finally after that long process. You've gone down to the Uber Green Light Hub, you've gone to Bolt, etc. All the different platforms. You're raring to go. You got all applications ready to accept trips. Tell me about your first week, your first 2 weeks, or your first month about being a driver with your new badge, like navigating the streets, your first interactions with passengers. Loaded question.
I was trying to go back to that time. I think it was when things was a bit more relaxed. And
because this is fresh off of lockdown.
You know, and you have to wear a mask. You're suffocating. You know what I mean? You're fearing that you might get COVID. Which I did have COVID. But not through. I think I did have COVID.
Do you think you got it from a passenger?
I did. I think I remember that time I got it from a passenger. I'm saying it was when things were locking down. But anyway, it was interesting. It was interesting to have people in your car that you don't know. You know, you've never met them before. And having conversations with them that, you know, it's just sometimes meaningless conversations.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to get the time by and move on, drop on them. It was just interesting to finally just be doing something that I failed at for the past 2 years or so, you know, and now just, you know, on the streets. The thing as well is that I drive a lot, so I kind of know the roads, West London, South London, North, kind of know the roads quite well, especially South East London. It's like back of my hands, you know what I mean? So if say, oh, we're going in this place in Brooklyn, we're going this place in Lewisham or Catford, cool, no problem.
With that interaction with people, like getting into your vehicle, prior to you being a private hire driver, did you have, like, in terms of like your social skills or like you know, customer facing roles, or do you just like, what do you, because you need to be very personal.
Yes, you do.
You need to be very personal, and a large part of being a good driver, a good private hire driver, is making the passenger feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Like, do you feel like if there was any prior industries that you were in that helped contribute to your sociable skills?
So as a driver, you need to be very sociable. You need to be someone that can hold conversations and someone that is able to even lead conversations sometimes. You know what I mean? I was reading somewhere last year on Google that passengers are more likely to tell drivers their darkest secrets. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to see them again. And I've had that interaction with a lot of people. But going back to your question, is that I worked in industries that is very hospitable, where customer needs are put forward. You know what I mean? So I've worked in retails. You know, I used to work in like curries in Crayford for a long time, and then it's all about just interacting with customers. You know what I mean? Trying to sell them something that they need, and is something they don't want but they need. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's been like that, and you know, I'm kind of guy, I'm very sociable. I like to talk. You know, I like to you know what's going on and things like that. You know, so you have to have that sort of thing about you.
It's so interesting because like I'm like both you and I were both very fortunate to be very, you know, easy to talk to. Because on the scale to 1 to 10, when I think of how important it is to be a sociable individual in our industry, I would put it as high as 8. Like it's like
8 above.
Because I would say it's more. This is gonna sound a bit nuts, but I would say it's more important to be very sociable and be able to make a passenger feel comfortable than your knowledge of the roads. I would put knowledge of the roads at 5. Because of sat nav, ways, etc., and being sociable way higher.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Especially in my field, you're more private. I'm saying you're more private, and sometimes with your clients, and because now I'm sort of on the same level as you. We drive the same sort of car. You drive the 500, I drive the E-Class. Sometimes I get the execs and I get the business, and you look at the description of what they want. Sometimes they're quiet. You know what I mean? You know, so sometimes I'm like, alright, cool. I mean, and sometimes people are like, I don't mind talking. Do you know what I mean? So you know the ones who want to talk. You know the ones who don't want to talk.
You can gauge the energy instantly. As soon as they get in the vehicle, you kind of gauge it. With the high-end chauffeuring and executive clients, the general rule of thumb is, like, especially with where I'm at, is don't speak unless spoken to.
Right. That's my thing. Even with the normal just Ubering and all that sort of stuff. Don't really speak. If I say hi to you and you don't reply back, or you sit in the car with your earphones in, I know you don't want to talk.
That's it.
I'm not going to force conversation. Do you know what I mean? I've already seen the sign. I mean, so it's from A to B. And that's it. You know,
the social, not the social, but the mental strain though of these conversations, because one of the things that I used to enjoy but kind of get frustrated with is, you know, you never know the end of your passenger's story, in the sense of they'll come in to your vehicle on the way to a job interview, or they might be going to the hospital, or be going on a first date. They tell you, they give you the backstory. You get half of the episode, and it's like someone turns off the TV. Like, you never know the end of the story. You don't know if the person gets the job. You don't know if the surgery goes okay. If they're going to the hospital for that. You don't know if the person met the love of their life. And sometimes people do massive emotional dumps on you. Like you mentioned earlier, people are more likely to tell their driver the deepest, darkest secrets. It's something like when you said that, a bit of trauma kind of came back to me because of all of them. So, and like, you know, it is mentally like I get home and I don't want to speak to anyone.
It's because you've got a lot on your mind.
How do you deal with it?
The funny thing is, sometimes when I drop people off, they're still in the car talking to get my advice. You know what I mean? And sometimes I ask myself, am I in the wrong business? You know what I mean? Because you're sitting in my car expecting me to give you some sort of answer that, you know, but obviously through life, through, you've at the age I am, I've been through certain situations where I can advise people on certain, like, you know, situations like relationships, you know, so I can advise you on, you know, if you should let your girlfriend move in, or if you want to have a child, and because my oldest child is 20, you know, so I can talk to you about being a father. You know, I can talk to you about being a good role model to your, you know, to your child and things like that. You know, so you know, I can talk about dates. I can talk about, you know, first dates and second dates and whatnot. You know, so it's one of those ones where it's for me, it's quite important to give the right advice. You know what I mean? Because especially with Uber customers, I think Uber customers are
they're a special breed.
They're different.
They're a special breed.
They're bougie. You know what I mean? Uber drivers are bougie. You know what I mean? Because they complain a lot, and sometimes they will write a comment if it's bad or good, and
they want the world.
Do you know what I mean?
They want the world.
Absolutely.
They want you to pull up in their living room if you can.
I'm saying, hold their hand to the car. Hold
the car.
Where are you? I can't see you, but you put the spot there for me to come apart. You know, it's crazy.
And they want all of that for £4.50.
Say nothing, innit? But now I'm doing E-Class, so I don't go on Uber X. You know what I mean? I'm just doing the, you know, the high end stuff sometimes. So I would just go up Harrods and just wait there for like a few minutes
and just run it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? That's a little nugget there as well. For anyone that's, you know, watching this, and, you know, fellow drivers that you maybe your first year into private hire, second year, etc. I would always recommend try to make the conscious effort of getting to exec or like get yourself as high up as possible in regards to the service you provide, because you said you're in the E-Class. When you're in the E-Class, you could do exec, you could do comfort, you can do Uber X. I don't advise it, but you could do, essentially the options with your vehicle is way more vast. It's even more vast if you have a V-Class. My goodness, it's crazy. Like V-Class. A V-Class.
Okay.
It's like the luxury side of a Vito. Of a Vito.
Okay.
And with that, you could do Uber Lux. In some cases, it depends on the specification of your V-Class. But you could do like Uber Lux. You could do MPV trips, business class, Uber Access. For this, literally, you could do every option available, and essentially it's the philosophy of, you know how multiple streams of income, it's multiple of that, styles of trips. You could do every style of trip possible,
and that's, see, you just said something there, the multiple stream of income. Do you know what I mean? Where when you have a different sort of car, you have the option of not just doing the X, you have the option of doing the business, the comfort, the exec. Do you know what I mean?
When you're just in the Prius,
it's all you're doing is the X.
That's
it. I mean, and so now I look at the time of driving on when I used to have a Ioniq, which is just the X, and now look at the time of driving when I now have my E-Class, and amount of money that I'm making compare, and I'm thinking to myself, hold on a second, all this time I'm doing like for £5 doing 15-20 minutes drop on X, and then what for, like, maybe say £20 dropping someone 10 minutes on the road. That's a big difference.
Massive difference.
A big difference.
Massive difference.
So now, you know,
and so with the first, to circle back to your first month of having your license, we covered the interacting with passenger side of things. Now talk to me about your journey of figuring out the economics, the money side of in the first few months of being a driver out on your own. Was you aware of the type of money you can make driving?
Yes, I was, because once again, I've got two brothers who were doing this before me. I even advised one of my brothers, the younger brother, to actually do the bus driving. He went and did the bus driving.
Jump on it.
And he went, and also I advised him to do the Uber, because my other brother Enoch was doing it. He's been doing it for 5 years now.
Shout out to Enoch,
yeah, he's been doing it for 5 years, and he was telling me how much money. And I don't know what. Sometimes proudness can sometimes make you lose out on things.
Yeah.
Because when Enoch told me, "Oh, I want to do Uber," in my head I was like, "Taxi driver? Nah, bro."
That's the thing.
Nah,
the social standing of taxi drivers are still a little bit wayward in the UK.
I'm saying, but the thing is, Ubering is very much different from taxi driving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, because I just came out of uni, because I was a film student. I'm saying, and that's what I do on the side of Ubering. I'm saying, I was thinking to myself, I'm getting some jobs from the filming side of things as well. So, why would I want to do taxi driving? Bro, just come out of uni, took a degree, fam. Come on, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was saying, bro, this is so much money you can make. And I wasn't listening. I wish I did listen.
Yeah.
I would have been same as him, 5 years deep, maybe say 2 mortgages by now. Do you know what I mean? But I wish I did listen. And sometimes I try to advise people as well on how much you make and whatnot. You know. So did kind of let me know how much money he's making. Yeah. And the financial freedom now, he's able to get paid for things in advance, go for holidays when he wants to go on holidays. Yeah. But still, I wasn't listening. I'm saying, until one time, as they say, the thing hit the fan, and I'm like, I need money. Yeah. So now, how do I get into this? Because I want to make $1,500 a week. Yeah. I want to try and push $2,000 a week. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Which sometimes I do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But when you do $2,000 a week, that's structured. I'm saying that
we're gonna get to that.
There was no social life on that. You wake up, you go work, you come, you sleep, you wake up. Bro.
But in your first like month, would you say, like, what was you averaging a week? Would you say in the
first month? I'll be honest with you. First month, I was averaging at least
8K a month.
8K a month. Let's say, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I was pushing.
The enthusiasm of new drivers is different. But that's where our journeys are different, though. I remember when I first got my license, I was the laziest driver you can imagine. Wow. Honestly, it was disgusting, because I had a clothing shop in Lewisham. Right. So I was driving to basically keep my business afloat, which is a whole nother discussion in itself, because that means the business was failing and it wasn't making enough money. But anyways, I was a lazy driver. I'm talking about £300 a week. I was so literally £300 a week. So I was, after I paid for my vehicle, because that's another thing, by the way, a large majority of drivers rent their vehicles. Yeah. So that end of the week money, it depends on the type of driver, but a lot of it goes towards paying for the vehicle. Right. Yep. But after I paid for my vehicle, I have like £100 or whatnot. So like my first year, I would say, it sounds nuts, but my first year I was hardly making money. Wow. From private, because I was hardly doing it. Because you got your clothing line. Precisely. Precisely. I was running another business, and like in my head, like the whole driving thing was never going to be my full-time thing. It was it was always meant to just be something to supplement my income from other ventures. But that didn't change, and when it did change, my goodness, like my whole mindset changed. But funny enough, that didn't really happen until I met Chris, who as well, Chris Brew,
Mr. Brew,
Mr. Brew. Shout out to Brew.
Yes.
he's who introduced me to the early morning sessions.
Right.
And that's where I kind of want you to speak more on in regards to finding out your strategy to, earning well.
Right. Okay.
How did you find that strategy, and then what is that strategy?
So sometimes the project days, you have to listen to them. You have to listen to the legendary people who've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
So we have a group called the FUBU group.
100% legendary group.
freenow, Uber, Bolt, and Ola.
Yeah.
FUBU group. You know what I mean? And
is Ola still about, or is it?
Ola's still about, but I think Ola's for those who work in the Tower Hamlet areas.
Got you.
But anyways, yeah. So that group sort of people are in there that's been there for a long time, and they teach you the times to come out. And the thing is, if you don't listen to them, and you think, oh no, I like my sleep, I want to come out at 12 o'clock, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Because these guys have been there for a good 2 years before you got into that group. You know what I mean? So they will say, you know what, try and get a good night's sleep and try and come out at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Bag at least £150, £100, and then go home, do what you're doing, go and do your side business, go and do whatever, and then come out at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Another 150.
Another 150. That's £300.
That's £300.
That's £300.
Do that 5 days a week.
You're sorted. Do you know what I'm saying? And on the weekends, do the same thing. But on the weekends, you can actually vary, because you can come out at 12 o'clock on the weekend and still kind of make money, but you're going to fall in traffic. Yeah. But you still make the money. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But also, bear in mind that on the weekend, there's events on. So choose your best app that is more busier, which is, we know the dominant app, which is Uber. We know. So work on the other ones and then save Uber for the evening. Do you know what I mean? You got to follow these strategies. If you don't follow the strategies, you're gonna make at least £800 a week, but the whole point is to try and make a minimum of 1,000 to 1,500 a week. Because then you pay for your car, you still got some money left.
Precisely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and that's, in all honesty, if you're not making, this is gonna sound a little bit annoying to some. If you're not making like £1,000 a week on these platforms, on Uber, etc., it's probably not worth it.
Nah.
Because the vehicle takes up a lot of that £1,000, and then we still need to pay a tax on that £1,000.
Exactly.
So it's a false sense of I'm making the big bucks in a lot of the cases, and the way how I'm pretty sure as a passenger, some passengers love asking drivers how much you make a week. How much you make a week? Oh, show me this, and some drivers show them and whatnot. But once you take away the tax, that £1,000 is £800, and suddenly £800 doesn't seem like a lot at all. And then after that 800, take out your car rent, car rent. Even if you're financing your car, it's still going to be a couple of hundred.
It is. I'm saying
insurance.
Absolutely.
Then you're down to that, what, 500 quid?
You're done. I'm saying, you got to think about this day and age. You got to think about the utility bills. You got to think about your house rent,
100%.
Especially if you're private. If you're one of those unfortunate people that's doing private renting, the price has gone up. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm one of those unfortunate.
I'm saying. You just got to follow a strategy, and it's gonna be hard for the first couple of months.
Yeah.
But after that, you realize, I can do this. I can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
There's definitely structure. There's definitely, and another little tip for you as well. Driving during the daytime is possibly one of the biggest wastes of time, unless you're super strategic. You got a couple of private clients, and you know. To fill your time between your privates, you do a couple of Uber jobs here and there. Driving during the daytime on platforms is pretty much dead. Like, if you get a job in the early morning, like in like 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., and then it takes you all the way out to like Slough, or down into Surrey, then if it's around 8:39, I would then say, go to Gatwick or go to Heathrow, go to the waiting point, which is another thing that I didn't find out about until late. But go to the airports, wait, and get that big money trip that takes you back into the city, and then call it a day. Would you recommend airport trips? Do you like them? Do you hate them?
They were very attractive before these £5 trips came in, because now when you go to the airport you have to pay £5.30.
Oh, the drop off fee. Yeah.
So what Enoch, shout out to Enoch again, what Enoch came up with, it said to the group, guys, I've just worked something out. You know that when you go to the airport, you've got 25 minutes or half an hour wait. So don't drop them off at the drop off. Drop them off at the car park drop offs.
Interesting.
So now what we do now is we go into the car park drop offs. That gives us time to use the toilets, buy a coffee, do you know what I mean? You know, and probably just come in the car, wait for another 15 minutes for another trip to come in. And you've got another trip to go and taking you out.
That's really smart, you know.
I'm saying
that's really, so, you know, not even I know that, by the way.
I'm saying, so
I'm missing out on
that's
these.
a gem. That's a gem.
That's a real.
Yeah. So now when I pick up a driver, I'm gonna pick up passenger, should I say? And they're thinking I'm doing a drop off, and I'm dropping them off. I say to them, well, apparently now this is our new drop off. Now we have to drop everyone off at these stations. So therefore, you know, it works. It works for us. I'm saying, because like, think about it. Drop off is £5. And then if you go pick someone up again, that's another £5.30. So that's £10.30 just doing airport trips. You don't want to do that. The whole aim of this is to make money, not to lose money. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very smart about what you do, and very strategic about how you drive certain areas. You know, nowadays people in a group say, I don't like doing airport trips now. You know what I mean? And fair enough, I understand.
Even privates.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
privates. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when privates come into it's like, I hate them. I hate airport trips with a passion.
I see what I'm saying. So you've got to be very strategic. The only airport terminal that I don't like, I think it's terminal.
Oh my goodness, 3 or 2.
I think it's
3 and 2 for me.
I think it's 4. I think it is, because the passenger pickup, or is it 3? One of those passenger pickup is another place. And I'm like, oh damn! Because the first time I went, I'm like, cool, I'll go and pick up. I'll drop them. No, you can't do that. You have to go somewhere to drop them off. And I'm like, no, man. So I thought, you know what? After this, I have to bear in mind this terminal, so I don't come here again. So, you know what I mean? You know.
Number 3, Luton is another airport I absolutely cannot stand.
Is it Luton or Stansted? One of them.
Stansted's not too bad.
Stansted is £7.
Yeah, they've increased.
£7. And Stansted, ever doing this driving thing, Stansted is one place I've only picked up people twice.
Right.
Like twice to drop off somewhere. Every time I go to Stansted, you don't ever get nothing.
Oh, as in to
return back. So you have to drive all the way back from wherever area that is.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when you sort of get into London, Essex area, to start picking people up. Do you know what I mean? You know, so
the waiting place for drivers at Stansted and at Luton is so far away from the airport itself. Wow. It's not too bad in Stansted, maybe I'm exaggerating, but in Luton it's almost like 2 miles away from.
Wow. Yeah, so them places, when I drop people off, I'm just going. Do you know what I mean? You know, and then if I get something straight away, then, you know, it is what it is.
With mental health, I want to touch on that. Have you struggled with mental health since like starting driving? And that's one question. And how do you cope with it? Because it is something that does kind of.
See, this is the thing about me personally. When it comes to mental health, I have a way of dealing with it. I have like survival mechanism of dealing with mental health. You can get very frustrated in traffic. You know, and that could really break down your day. It can mess up your day. You know, so it's one of those ones where if you're going somewhere and you have to take a motorway, try and find other routes of trying to get through that motorway. Because if there's an accident, you know, that could really affect you. You know, you're thinking, oh damn, I'm stuck here for another half an hour or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You know, And also, when you do a long drive, I would say that long drive, if it's an hour 20 minutes, when you get there, have a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes rest. I'm saying,
yeah,
you know, do squats when you come out the car. Do something, because
boy, my goodness,
you're sitting there twisting yourself and everything. It's tough. Our work is tough.
Yeah,
I mean, so I just have a way of dealing with it and playing good music or listening to motivational speakers, you know, when I drop off the passengers, you know, and things like that. And so that's how I deal with my mental on the road.
On a scale to 1 to 10, like 10 being in absolutely insane road rage, 0 being I'm cool as a cucumber, where would you rank your road rage?
I'm 0.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very, very 0.
Wow.
Because the reason why I say that, because
but it's monk, man.
The reason why I say that is that one, if you do something, passengers might complain to Uber or to TfL. You might lose your license. You know what I mean? And as a driver, we're seen as professional drivers. So therefore, you have to really behave yourself. 100%. You know what I mean? And you're making money on the road. So you want to be as sane as possible. You know, and you don't want any sort of like animosity on the road, or you don't want that. So, you know, if someone cuts me up, that's it.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
My first 2 years, because I was still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. My road rage was horrendous, man. It was crazy. And like my close friends used to comment on the change to my personality. Like they saw a change in my personality since I started doing Uber, which is crazy. And it's only in the latter years now. I've been doing private hire now for 6 years or so. It's honed in significantly. Now, I'm not as good as you. I'm not a 0, but I would say I'm at a 2, 3. I get flustered sometimes,
right.
But I'm at a 2 or so. Like,
especially in your line of job where you're driving these people, business-minded people, like you really have to be.
Just now you said when you do a long drive, that's like an hour or so. That's like my average. That's like the normal. For me, a long drive is last week I did Manchester, Birmingham, and then back down. So basically, we was driving non-stop for like 10 hours. Like, that's a long drive. It's wild, man. It's wild. In terms of like physical health, like I mentioned to you off camera, that drivers are most likely to die from a heart attack or some other cardiovascular related issue than they are to get into a car accident. And that's because of, you know, the prolonged periods of sitting down, and, you know, people aren't as wise as you to get out of the car and do some squats and stuff. People are literally just sitting there.
It's so needed.
Going to McDonald's drive-through. Not even... You shouldn't be going to McDonald's anyways. But, you know, they'll drive all day, go to the drive-through, not even sit and walk to the counter to place your order. Like, you're only getting up to take a piss, really, and then getting back into the car, sitting down and then eating, and then cracking on again. No exercise,
bro. Exercise is very healthy, and something I've got to mention as a driver. As a driver, you need to have a starter pack. I'll show you. please. This is your starter pack. I'm saying this is your coffee or your tea. Keep that in there. This is Femos. Shout out to Femos. They're very good. They sponsor me now. I'm saying. And right here, this is something that you guys didn't tell me about. But one of my other guys, my neighbor, he's a driver, long-distance driver. And I was saying to him, bro, man, I'm liking the driving, but I don't like the cold food. Listen, but don't you know about the in-car heater for your food? I mean, what do you mean in-car heater for your food?
Game changer.
It went into Amazon and showed me, and this is how it looks like, basically, right? So this here.
Got something similar. So sick.
It's this enough for the nice rice and peas, jerk chicken, jollof rice, you know what I mean, everything there, you know what I mean? And then you plug in your car heater, within 20 minutes, half an hour, your food is piping hot.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
honestly,
and this is what you need for, especially if you want to not go into sort of fast food restaurants, because this job, as you mentioned, if you don't eat properly, you're putting on weight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, you're putting on weight within 6 months. You see that your stomach is. Do you know what I mean? So
it's one of those story about that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you've got to really look after yourself, look after your diet.
Yeah.
If you're someone like me that likes to continue looking good at a certain age, you know what I mean? And you have to have a lot of regular exercises as well. Do you know what I mean? Eat healthy, because you're driving 16, 15 hours a day sometimes. You know what I mean? Especially if you're trying to make £300 to £400. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have this sort of routine where, yes, you're eating healthy. 1 or 2 days you can have one of cheat days. You know what I mean? You got your chicken nandos, you know what I mean, or something like that.
You're human at that.
How it goes. But definitely you got to have these routines set out. Say, you know what, cool, I'm driving this miles and I'm gonna do some exercise, or before I work in the morning I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna go for a run. Do you know what I mean? It's all about having to sort of strategically do these sort of things to have a healthier lifestyle, because we are doing a very hard job, and sitting down for 12, 15 hours, let's say 10 to 12 hours, 15 hours a day, it has a strain on your body.
Honestly, it's mad. I remember playing football. I think I was in my second year of driving, and I hadn't played football in a while. It had been like 8 months, and that 8 months where I was just driving, right, like my belly proper sticking out. Like I'm I've got a really slim frame, naturally, right? I can't remember, there's like a technical, I'm naturally really skinny, right? But I had this gut, and
because you're sitting there,
it was because I'm just sitting
eating
there.
And driving is sometimes boring, because especially you driving from Manchester and them places, you want to eat something to keep you awake. You know what I mean? And when you realize by 3 months, you see changes.
The way how your body's changed, you can't run, you're getting out of breath going down the stairs. Going down the stairs, not even going up.
Put your charges, right?
And then
you see like your waist is, and you know what?
Literally, like
something needs to be done about this.
3-4 months in, I went from a 28 waist to a 32 waist.
That's serious.
Yeah,
that's a 28 waist.
Yeah, 28 waist. That's my natural.
Wow.
That's my natural waist size. I'm back to a 30 now, and I feel I'm comfortable at the weight I'm at now. I'm quite healthy now, and I'm good now. But my goodness, driving is really unhealthy. And I can't stress the importance of having a diet, having a driver starter kit like you have, and exercising, cardio. Just going for a walk, even like after a long journey, just get out of the car and just walk. Walk around the car.
You need to. I would say don't drive again for a good 15 minutes. Do 5 minutes squats or just lunges, and just stretch your body out. Do something
for your mental as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Because like some of these passengers, man, they treat us like we're just meat between the seat and the wheel. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if the app, it's like we as a society, I really feel like we've lost so much human, like there's so much like human interaction.
Yeah.
Like people will get in, and not everyone needs to talk to the driver. I'm not saying that, but like some people honestly treat us like if we're just like literally meet between the wheel and the seat, and they expect us to just bend at every whim. It's nasty, man. It's nasty. It takes its toll on you, man. It takes its toll on you.
It does.
Have you had any like nightmare scenarios or clients?
Oh my god! Oh my days!
There's probably countless amounts, but
top
3.
so what I call nightmare scenarios is what I've seen on TV or what I've seen on like news reports.
I've seen
about
some horrendous stuff on TV.
People getting attacked, but
I've seen people getting murdered and killed.
All right, see now, that's mostly in
the States.
In the States and all that sort of stuff, and racial abuse and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Personally, the only nightmare that I have, and it's one of those ones where it stops you from working. You have to go home.
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah. It stops you.
When someone vomits here in your car, it just collapses the whole. Yo, and they don't get it. It's like, oh, you've never been drunk. Yo,
that's because I don't drink like you, fam. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink to get drunk like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones where I've had to now think of a way of making sure that if I pick up drunk people, I don't also have to go home.
Yeah.
You understand? So I go to places that they've got bags of fruits.
Yeah.
And I tear at least 20 of them and put in the back of my seats. So if I pick up people who I feel like just come out of a pub, or should I say I've seen come out of a pub, and I feel like they might have the point of regurgitating. I always say to them, listen, guys, I've got bags at the back of those seats. If you feel like you want to regurgitate, take the bags out. Let me know. I can stop. You can do your thing outside. Because it's really off-putting. The smell that you have to endure when you're driving home, especially if you've done a long 1 hour job you have to drop 1 hour of that. No, I'm saying
that's even you can Febreze the car out. You know, you're good for even telling them, you know, use a bag or whatever. I personally, I tell them, if at any moment you feel a little bit queasy or whatever, please just tap my shoulder or just say, you know, I feel like if I'm going to vomit. Don't leave it until literally it's in your mouth. Just tell me as soon as you feel like that, I'll pull over.
And also, I think on Uber as well, Uber, because I know passengers get in the car and then they look at your profile and they read all that sort of stuff. So I put a message saying, I know some people have motion sickness. So, you know, so if you have motion sickness,
that's smart.
Let me know. There's bags at the back of the seat. Help yourself to it. You know, if you want to sit at the front, let me know. Because sometimes people can't see it. I think motion sickness is for when they can't see what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So they're at the back and every movement,
finished. Your whole night's done. Your whole night, your target was to make 2 bills. This is your second, third trip in.
I'm saying, and it's probably a Saturday evening as well, where the people that you're going to they get the car washed or clean, they're not working until Monday. You know what I'm saying? And you have to do it yourself. So it's one of the ones where now it's like, if I can see you tumbling over, your trip's getting cancelled.
Cancelled straight away. Like I was
you're
literally
gonna
about to
be
say.
a cab.
I was literally about to say if I see sometimes it's gonna sound horrible, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's gonna sound I could gauge it, because there's some people that mask it well. They'll stand there, they'll look proper, prim and clean. Women also, they'll look, you know, they'll hold themselves together. They'll give you a good 15 minutes, and then I can just tell, just glancing back in the rear view, you're gonna throw up in my car and ruin my whole night. And then I changed my driving style and be like, I could tell, honestly, you pick up a sixth sense.
You know, had that the other week actually.
Really?
He had that the other week.
What happened?
Twice in a week.
No.
And he said they picked up this lady and
he should have known better though. I mean, he's got a seventh sense.
And all he could smell was vomit, because he said he was wondering why the windows was down, and he could smell vomit, but he didn't see it in the car until later. Do you know what I mean? And I said, don't you have bags in your car? I mean, no. He said, no. But bro, I said, you've been doing this before me, bro. Why don't you have bags in your car?
Bags.
You know what I mean? You need those bags. If you want to get those bags, those bags specifically are from Lidl's. Go to the Lidl's. They're fruit and veg side. It's got bags. You tear them off. You put them back in your car. You know what I mean? You're sorted. You know what I mean?
Honestly, the most hated one is when they don't tell you anything, despite giving them a little, pre-warning, just let me know, whatever. Is when they wind down the window and they try to vomit out the window, and then it goes all down the side.
That's what Enoch had as well. Enoch had that. He had that. You know what I mean? Goodness. It's insane. It drives me insane.
So that aside, no bad situations. Have you ever had to literally pull someone out of your vehicle?
Nah.
Really?
Nah. The only time I had someone in the car who was really drunk, and I was thinking twice to actually take them in my car. And the guy, I think his friend helped him into the car. His mate, listen, he's really drunk, right? But and I had my car locked. I said, "How drunk are we talking?" Like, and when I said, "How drunk are we talking?" he said, "When." It's me. Listen, mate. Listen, everyone's been cancelling, mate. You know what I mean? I felt bad for him. You know what I mean? It was late at night. I felt bad for him. Listen, all he's gonna do, right, is gonna sleep in your car. It's me. And I was looking for vomit on his clothes.
Yeah.
I was looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said,
He must have been in sales.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Because he sold you.
It was from Bromley to East London. I'm like, that's a bit of a drive still, just in case. I said, you know what? Yeah, I can't see no vomit. I'm saying maybe he knows how to handle his drink, but he just knocked him out. Yeah. So I took him, but it's cool. Yeah. And it was calm. I'm saying it was calm. Got to his place, and he didn't wake up. And that's the thing. I say, it's me. Oh, don't tell me.
You can't touch your passengers under any circumstances.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this guy? First of all, I don't even know which door he's at. No one's outside to greet him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, mate, do you wanna? We're here. And after like maybe say 10 minutes, he got up. Yeah. I mean, that's like, I'll say, apart from the vomit and this guy, I've never had to drag anyone out. But I've heard stories from the group though. Oh my! I've heard stories from the group. I'm saying, I'm mentioning no names, but I've heard stories from the group where. So
was you ever on Uber when Uber Pool was like a thing? Remember Uber Pool?
No. So when I got on Uber, it was like I said during the COVID, and I think they stopped it.
Oh yeah, because of
But now Uber Pool's now back now, isn't it?
Really?
It's back now.
Oh
I see
goodness.
it on Uber X.
Goodness.
It's back.
Uber Pool doesn't work in the UK.
No, it doesn't.
So in the States, like in LA, if you go to LA, New York as well, Uber Pool is the most requested trip type.
Because it's cheaper, right?
It's the cheapest option. Yeah. And then Uber X and all the other
versions. I think I've had one Uber Pool. I was confused by it. I didn't know what's happening. Yeah. I picked up a passenger, and then it took me somewhere. Yeah. And I picked someone up as well.
Yeah.
I was like,
so weird. See, like in the States, it's easier to pull over to the side and pick people up and the way how the road layout works over there. In London, you can't stop anywhere. Picking up is probably, when I was on the platforms, like picking up passengers was the hardest bit of the job.
Right.
Everything else was kind of easy, to be honest. Just finding a safe place for you to stop where you're not going to get
cameras or red lines, you know what I mean?
The roads are tight and narrow, even down like the side streets where people live. Yeah. There's nowhere. People will be like with their shopping bags or with luggage or whatnot, and they want you to stop right in front of their house. There's a little space, a couple of cars or a couple of doors down. They don't want that.
Okay.
So like, I'll like, and there'll be a car driving up my, how people drive in London. So I'll go past their house, I'll pull into the side, and then they'll drag their bags down to the car. Did you not see me back there, mate?
No.
I did see you, but I can't stop there. There's a car behind me. You've got luggage. It's going to take a while to load up. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. You get that.
Get in the car and then...
You get that. I'm saying...
Like, can I connect to the Bluetooth? It's like,
see, this is the thing now. That's another one that I hate as well. You know what I mean?
Give me your pet peeves.
Yeah, where people say, "Oh, can I?" And there's also young ones as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Boss, can I connect to your Bluetooth?
For a 10-minute drive.
Sometimes even 5.
5 minutes, and they want to go through the whole palaver of connecting up.
And I've come to a point where now I say, you only connect to one device. But if you want, you can take, because I got 2 phones.
Okay.
So you can put your music on. I'm saying
and play.
And then play. It's cool because you got time. And the reason why I started saying that is because the car had previously the Ionic.
Yeah.
It could, I think it was Ionic. It could actually only connect to one Bluetooth.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I was like, no, you can't. So now I just use that same lie or the truth into a lie now, because I know my car now can connect to many. I said, no, forget it. I'm not doing that. I'm saying I got so and so. Vic has no. And I have to try and delete it. No, I'm saying.
And then they get out of the car and then they're still playing their songs, and then like you have to disconnect it, reconnect it to your thing. And
so I said, my phone's here. Whatever song you want to choose, people.
What gets a passenger are 1, 2, 3 stars? What gets them a low rating?
Nowadays,
Yeah.
these vaping things that people do in a car,
Vaping.
and
Is that allowed? Like,
no, it's still known as smoking, so you can't really do that in the car. You know what I mean? Because
people like literally like will vape in the
they'll vape in the car. Do you know what I mean? Because I think because it's not tobacco,
right,
and it doesn't smell like cigarettes, it's allowed.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I mean? And it's still secondhand smoking. To be honest, you know what I mean? So when I smell it in the car, I said, "Look, hi." The signs on the window said you can't really smoke or vape in the car.
Yeah.
You know, so don't tolerate that. Do you know what I mean?
What else?
I don't allow food in the car.
100%.
I don't like food in the car. Especially this car anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know, because
makes me feel sick.
Yeah, and food, you know. So I have a food bag at the back of the car.
Okay.
Where, you know,
a food bag.
Yeah, a food bag.
What do you mean?
I feel like, you know,
like a zip thingy, like a.
No, it's like it's like something like this.
Yeah.
But bigger. You know what I mean? So if people come and I don't start how people feel like I can just bring my kebab in the car and you smell like your car.
Oh my!
It's like it's like have some initiative for the driver, or you know what I mean, because that kebab smell stays in the car for quite a long time. Even I don't eat in the car. You know what I mean? I heat up my food and go find somewhere to sit because I know that I don't want you to smell my food because you know. So I have a food bag. Yeah. And these food bags, especially on the weekends, is after the clubs. I mean, I got a food bag in the car. I put the food in the car. When you get out, you can eat in the car. You can eat your food. You know what I mean? So you just have to be ready for these people, because I've been doing it for a year now, so more than a year. So I know the antics. And I know the do's and don'ts, you know what I mean? So I'm so now prepared for certain things. For the vomit, I got a bag for you. For your food, I got a bag in the back. Do you know what I'm saying? What else is there? Conversation wise, we can have that. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of funny. It's gonna sound kind of jokes, but I've got like preloaded conversations in my head. Like for the most part, like I've got like there's like five archetypes of individual, like 5 different versions of people that are going to get into your car. You have a roadman that's going to get into your car. You have like a business person that's going to get into your car. You've got like a middle-aged white bloke that's going to get into your car. He said, what I'm saying is that there's 5 different types of individuals that are going to get into your car, and I've got a conversation and different types of conversations for all 5 of them. Absolutely. It's preloaded. Absolutely. Where it preempts little jokes in there, like of how it's going to go. All preloaded to the time of the journey, and most drivers do. And if you don't, definitely start recycling your conversations.
It's true.
What would you say to yourself with all the experience you know now to someone stepping into the industry? If you had known what you know now coming into the industry, first of all, that's like, would you still come into the industry? If you know like what you know now, would you have still decided to do this private hire? Would you?
See, I would definitely. That's definitely yes. Okay. But if I could go back to my younger self of trying to get into this when my brother told me to, I would. You would have did it then. I would have said, do it. Okay. Do it.
You would have and odd.
No. Yeah. Do it, because you just come out of uni and you need money. Yeah. You understand? You know, with me, it's one of those ones where someone really has to show me what you're really what you're doing in order for me to really buy into it. Yeah. And I just saw it as just a taxi work. Like, it's a bit more than that. Yeah. Because I see how these apps work compared to how the normal cabbies work. Because before I got into the platforms, I was doing another cabbie thing. Yeah. Which the difference in that is different from.
My goodness. I really want to touch on that.
Yeah, doing the local cabbies is different from doing the apps. Yeah. I don't know why that is, but conversations are different. Yeah. The pickups are different. Yeah. You know what I mean? In many ways, you know, and it's different. Well. Yeah.
Would what do you lean towards? Do you lean towards cabbies, or would you lean towards apps?
more to the apps
For the freedom, right?
For the freedom, absolutely.
What else would you what would you do differently as well? Like,
I think also going into it, and many people, not many people can, but I would advise, if you can get your own car. If you can get your own car for the first time you go into the apps, you see how much money you're saving.
Oh my goodness!
You know, because when I first started, the money that I was paying the company, but shout out to the guy who I was hiring out for. He's a very relaxed guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Gave me unlimited mileage on the car. I could take the car to Paris. He doesn't care as long as he's getting his money. Yeah. That's cool. And I always say to people, if you're gonna hire a car, make sure you're getting unlimited miles. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because
game change, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually a massive thing.
There is, because the thing is as well is that many people who do this job have a second job.
100%.
I'm a freelance cameraman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I might go to Manchester and film.
Yeah.
I might get booked for a whole week of filming in some part of the country. Yeah. So I need the car to be in and out. Do you know what I mean? So I don't need someone calling me, oh, by the way, you know, you've reached a mile, it's going to cost you now £1.50 a mile. I don't need that. Do you know what I mean? No. So
because you're not making money at that point.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I would advise you, that try and get your own car, or if you can't get your own car, get a car which is unlimited miles. Yeah. You know, what else would I advise people? Just try and make time for yourself and your family, because once you start seeing that you can make 2K, 1,500 a week, you know what I'm saying? You're going to try and chase that all the time. 100%. You need to try and make time for yourself. If you're a single guy, this job is for you. 100%. If you are a single guy, if you're a single guy with no children, or your children are old enough and independent, doing their own thing, and you can spare time on the weekend for them or whatever, this job is for you. Because, like, let's say for example, someone that works Monday to Friday, and then weekends you split out with your boys and your children, and cool, because then Monday to Friday it's just you. You can actually, you can actually hit. You could possibly hit 2K Monday to Friday. Yeah, you can. 100%. I've done it before. 100%. I've done it before. Do you know what I mean? You know, so in
our group chat, and so like from our pool of drivers that we know, I know at the moment the average is 1.5.
Yeah, that's average.
That's relatively easy to achieve. You guys, there's something special about this group, because I've seen some horrendous numbers. I've seen some crazy high numbers. Even like when I was on the platforms, I'm gonna in the video version of this, I'm gonna throw some of my previous earnings up there when I was on the platforms. But you know, it's absolutely absurd. Going back to what you just mentioned just now about the comparison between the platforms, the Ubers, the Bolts, etc., and working with a company. I work with a company now, solely just with a company, and the grass always looks greener. I'm looking at what you guys are doing on the platforms, and I miss it. I can't lie. I really do miss it. But you know, we've had conversations in the group chat with the other drivers and stuff like that, and they're looking at my earnings and be like, John, like if I could if I could just you know have someone else pay for my car, because my car, I don't own my vehicle. That's the company's car. I can use it for personal use and just do what I want with it, but it's theirs. And they look after it, and that's a massive relief for some drivers.
And they even pay for your cleaning, right?
They used to.
Oh wow.
They used to.
So now you have to pay for your cleaning?
Have to pay for my cleaning now. Have to pay for my cleaning.
Wow.
And you have to keep that thing immaculate.
Yeah. I realize that now doing these execs now, you have to try and keep the car clean all the time. So, you know.
I'm like, at the moment, I'm for this week, the weather's been decent to me, but I'm 4 days a week at the car wash.
But have you, I don't know.
I need to start washing it myself.
Do you know, there was a spray you can spray for the car?
Yeah. Chris. Yeah. Shout out to Chris again.
Shout out to Enoch. They told me about that.
It's not like dropless. It's like it's waterless or something like that.
Yeah. So you wash your car, Right? And 2 days after it starts getting dusty.
Yeah.
Use a spray.
Yeah.
It looks brand new again.
Demon Shine. I'm not gonna. I need to start using these people's brands. They're sponsoring this.
There's other companies that have.
But there's so many. But I wash my car way too much. I spend on average about £100 a week cleaning the car. About £100.
You pay for your fuel though, right?
Yeah, they pay for fuel. Well, it comes out of the invoice. You see my invoice. I've seen It comes out of the invoice, but you don't really pay for it. It doesn't come out of your pocket directly. They just take it back out in the invoice. But I am coming back to independent driving, but strictly on the high end.
Right.
But again, that's like the caveat with not having, not having your own vehicle. But would you ever consider, coming to a company and do that?
Yes, I've had interviews with one. I won't mention no name.
We're not doing names.
I've had an interview with a company before.
Yeah.
But then you're like my reference, or you're like my benchmark of how much I need to make. So when I went there and I asked you, this numbers look right, and you said compared to what I'm making, no, they don't look right. You know what I mean? So I thought to myself, you know what? I thought to myself, maybe I could do yours for a couple of years. Yeah. Try and get onto the mortgage ladder. And then after come back to the freedom fighters.
So
You know what I'm saying?
that's exactly it. But the thing is, like with my earnings, like this is where everything gets a little bit murky and a little bit like skewed. So like I earn a lot, but like with a lot of like mini cab firms and chauffeur firms, etc., you're at the mercy of the controllers.
Yes.
You're at the mercy of the people that distribute these jobs.
That's right.
I'm fortunate that these controllers like me, and I'm quite polite. I'm on job. When you're a good driver, they're gonna like you. But my greatest ability is my availability.
Right. Yes.
And that's the case for most controllers. Most people that distribute these jobs, they like the drivers that are good, but more so they like drivers that are available. I'm single. Well, I'm not single. Whoa. I don't have kids.
I'm married.
I'm married. I'm married. I don't have kids. And I'm super flexible.
Yeah.
I'm always available. Like 7 days a week, apart from on Sundays for 4 hours when I play football. I'm available. And
your wife is she's okay with that?
She's okay.
She knows the journey.
Because she knows the journey, she knows the goal, and what we're trying to achieve. So and
that's important as well. Your partner needs to know.
100%.
You need to talk with your partner, babes. This is what we're trying to aim. You want that holiday in the Maldives?
Yeah.
I got to do these hours.
Exactly.
You want that holiday in Paris, as they say. I got to do these hours. You know what I'm saying? You want that Chanel bag.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So we know what the goal is. So I'm always available. So that when I throw my invoices in and I show you guys, hey, you guys can make like 2.5. You can make $3,000. I'm doing X.
And that's a week.
This is a week, by the way, guys.
That's a
this
week.
Is a week.
So and that's the company that you work with.
I'm gonna throw an invoice up during this little segment here, so you could see examples of type of earnings, like these. So it's a different style. So if you used to make 2,000 or so a week on apps, how many trips do you think roughly, or daily? Like how many trips to make here 300? Would you say?
I've never counted it like that, but
it's interesting though.
If
you used to throw like a figure, not a random figure, but a calculated figure,
I would say a day you're probably doing 10 trips a day.
So that's it.
I'm saying,
and that's like 10 different energies getting into your car, different vibes to deal with in that day. And that's everything going your way as well, by the way. That's like having like a good first trip. For me, when I was on apps, like I'm declining like trips around £4. Like I need my first trip to be at least around 15, 17 pounds.
From 30 upwards.
Yeah.
For up to 25.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm starting at 5 a.m, that first trip needs to be something substantial.
It needs to, because that next trip's going to come in 10,
it's going to be
15,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that first trip needs to be something solid, but like 10 trips. So on average, I'm doing at chauffeuring, I'm doing like 11 trips for the whole week.
Right.
So there's a difference.
Wait, hold on, go back. I just heard that.
Yeah.
11 trips for the whole
week. Yeah.
Where we are running 10 trips,
So
15 trips a day.
This is where the difference is.
So what's your company name again? I think I want to get involved.
So this is it. This is where the difference is.
S-Class as well, though.
Yeah, so S-Class as well. But like, that's where the difference is, though, man.
Jeez!
Yeah. So it's like, it's 10, 11 trips, 14 sometimes. Wow. On average, typically they try to, from what I've seen, they try to give at least 4 jobs a day, right? And the minimum I make from a trip is £55. That's like the minimum for most of my jobs.
Right.
So I know that once I do get a job, it's at least £55.
Right.
So typically I'll get at least 2. You know, this week just gone has been a particularly slow week. This month, this whole year, actually, this year to this day, like I've just been scrimping £2,000. This sounds this must sound a bit nuts to school teachers, and I'm not saying it like to sound like an asshole, but like. I know. And this is before tax, by the way.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So calm down. Calm down.
But it's been a especially slow year for all my years doing this. This has been an especially slow year. But it's been like 2 trips a day, 3 trips a day, and it's at least £55. But for the most part, those trips, 120 for one trip, like 200 for another trip. You know what I mean? There's some days when you just do one trip. Excuse me, that one trip is £300, £400 because you're going to the end of the world and back. Wow. Yeah, man. You're racking up some crazy miles.
And that's not on your car though. But that's on their car.
Yeah.
I'm saying, whereas me, that's on my car.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I'm doing these miles, and like I'm looking at it from this point of view of, I think I'm gonna have to try and get into your company.
I think so too, but like
because the thing is, like, sorry to cut you, is that cool? This is not like the foreseeable career.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just something to get onto something for the meantime.
Yeah.
And then after that, you can come back into your freedom fighting where you got your own time to do. You know what I'm saying? So if you can channel that, let me say, make a good, 70 to 80k for the year, put into that mortgage. You know what I mean? You're good, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you're back into doing your apps when you want to do your apps, because now you've secured what you want to secure. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what is. It's really.
Sorry to cut you, man. Because we're on an hour 12 now.
Yeah, I was literally just about to wrap. No worries. I'll wrap it now.
But if you want to finish what you were just saying, are you doing like an outro take? Or?
Yeah.
Cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Sweet. We literally just scratched the surface, but we'll pick this up in another video. I need to have you back on if you don't mind.
Well, listen, anytime, man. Anytime.
Because I still got like 2 pages of stuff I wanted to get to. But guys, this is it for this video. I'm definitely gonna sit back down with Johnson and have another discussion about more on the business end and there is a ceiling in driving, but there also isn't. You know what I mean? And we're going to explore that a little bit further in another video. But please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let me know what you think of this new format, this new shooting style, the studio, the backdrop. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious to see and hear what you guys think about what we were saying as well down in the comments. And I will catch you guys in the next video, hopefully. Thanks again, Johnson.
Signing out.
Cheers.
Nice one.
Thank you so much, man. Sorry for overrunning. Thank you.